Well, I guess with the nature of this video, I should add a disclaimer. This video could contain farm sex. Actually, farm animal sex. I don't think there'll be, farm animal. We're going to keep it there. If you are sensitive to the discussions of procreation and animal husbandry, then by all means, turn off this video and go slap your mama for making you such a wimp. No, really. We'll be talking about pig sex, so if that makes you uncomfortable or you've got ears that you don't think should hear about pig sex, then skip this video. Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. Today it's Saturday night and that means date night. Well, not every Saturday night's date night, but it's time to move the boars, singular boar. They're the two that are up here doing unnatural things to one another. Anyway, time to choose one of those, get them loaded in our trailer, and take them for a little cruise down to the sow pasture, so that one lucky boar gets to hang out for a month and do what God intended. So first thing we're going to do is Cam is going to jump in here and he's going to close off our chute, our little boar bridge here, so they can't get in while we get set up, because I got to get this trailer backed in there and get it all finagled. So Cam, go at it. I got to get the trailer back in here and all that stuff, so I need to repair those boards too. I don't want them twisting a pig ankle. Real hard on my stuff. Very nice. Right, so we got the chute in place. Got to do a little repair here. There's something about a 600-pound animal walking on one-by material that doesn't last very long. Yeah, I'm talking to you, fat boy.
Hold up. You're about to hit this, like that. Come this way a little more. Hold up. Perfect.
Oh, boys. Look at what I got over here. Boys. Well, that is the problem with having sows in heat down the road. The smell comes up the road, and this is what you get. They are very disinterested in food right now, and I actually skipped yesterday feeding them, hopefully so that their stomachs would override their libidos, but that's yet to happen. So normally they come running right down here, anxious for food, and the little gate thing that Cam had to put in would keep them at bay. But that's not the case. They're too busy discussing who's going to go first, it looks like. So what we're going to do is we're going to open the gate. We'll try to see if we can get one of them in and see how that works. If not, then I'll just drop the trailer here. We'll leave it a day. Again, skip another meal and see if that happens. We get that transition of hunger over libido. So the real question, of course, who goes first? Who are we going to let breed? And we've already bred Mongo. Mongo's the bigger of the two. He's got the bigger, floppier ears. And you can tell by his conformation, he's just more of a stout pig. I'd like to give Squealy Dan an opportunity to breed, but because while he's not as big as Mongo, he's much more docile. And I'm not quite sure. Obviously, I haven't seen how many he throws in a litter. We know, based upon experience or example, that he's ready to go, clearly. We just need to get him in the trailer. Would you knock it off? I don't want to have to put an explicit tag on this video. Dude, I need you on the trailer, not on your brother. Ridiculous. Anyway, so you can see, again, really fixated on that more so than food. Cam's putting a little food in the trailer here, so we'll see if that entices them. Come on. Come here. Come on. Yippee. Yippee. Oh, piggy. Picking up the ears, man. Would you come with me, please? Let's film that dude. Now, obviously, I'm not turning my back to these guys. While even they've never been aggressive towards me, their aggression towards one another right now, and trying to determine breeding dominance, you do not want to get in the middle of those. You probably just saw those tusks up close. That would undo you pretty quick. Come on, pig. Oh. Come on, pig. Oh, crap. Pig. All right, so their stomachs are not their driving motivator right now, so we're going to punt. And that's the beauty of not being in a hurry. So I put the gate there just to keep them from, I don't want them in the trailer tonight because I have to disconnect the side-by-side from the trailer, and of course that's going to make it tippy and all that, and I don't want them to get super spooked if they never come back. So I've got that blocked off, and obviously if they wanted to blast through that, they can. But we'll pick the food up, and we'll just leave everything here, and then tomorrow after church, I will come back and see if another day of skipping food has motivated them more. So catch me tomorrow. Well, sorry girls, tried to get you a date. Merida, you're too old for a date, aren't you? You're just old and crusty. Crusty pig. Little Miss Crusty Pig. All right, we're gonna be a little gross. I know you. Smell that and tell me what you think that smells like. I think Merida's the one that's in heat right now. You got nothing. All right, so we've got a little bit of nastiness on our towel there. Is that your face towel? We'll go back to the boars and see if this will lure them a little bit. Hey, widows. That's intimidating. That's a sound you make. Come on. I gotta go over them. Come on. Wait back. All foamed up there. All right, so I thought maybe that towel would draw them in, but all it did was just get them worked up in a lather, as you can see, the lather. So we're going to go ahead and call it a day. We'll come back tomorrow. I'm going to take this rag with me so they don't remain in the lather. But that's the one thing about, if there's one of the many cons of having boars is it's not as easy to manage as AI, of course. But when they can sense the sows are in heat, they don't eat, they don't do anything, they kind of tussle a lot like you see here. So it's one of the downsides. Probably as I adjust, most likely we'll get rid of one of the boars and maybe leave a barrow in here in the future just so one of the boars won't be lonely. But the barrow is always going to be the whipping boy, but at least there's not going to be this raging hormone competition all the time. But we'll see. That's why I was wanting to see a set of litters from each of those to kind of see who I like the best. But we may not get to that point. Don't want to waste too much time over the next couple years. Big old fuzzy butt down here. Come on, pig. All right, so after about 4 days trying to get that turkey in the trailer, I just gave up and I moved the trailer out, left the gate open, and left the gate open to the ladies. He's a little spooked at me right now. And look who's here, hanging out with the ladies. Come here. Come here. Big, big, big. Come on. Come on, Squealy Dan. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. So Merida was the last to come in heat. She's actually out. She was just coming out. She was just coming out of heat when Dan decided to take a hike down here. So he's still picking up some of the after effects, the scent of her being in heat, but she's got nothing to do with it. For those of you guys new to the channel, Merida is really, really old. She's probably, oh goodness, she's got to be going on 7. And you may think, well, why haven't you called her? Well, she's kind of become a family farm friend pet because A, she's too smart to get in the trailer, and B, she's just so darn cranky. I just like having her around. But so Dan's checking her out. She probably will not settle even if he would breed her. She's gotten to that age where she won't settle. If she would settle, man, I'd love to have a piglet from her and a large black, because that would be a great combo, because she's Hampshire Duroc mix. And of course he's large black, and I think that would be a good litter to throw. But he's kind of getting adjusted. I hear him. We're here at the farrowing barn, so the house is right over there. So when I come out in the mornings, I hear the sounds of the sounds of adjustment. They're not the sounds of love just yet. They're more of the sounds of adjustment, getting used to one another. But he's got all 3 ladies here with him. There's the third. So they're hanging out all right. You can see Timber in the side-by-side. He does not like being around the pig, so he won't get out of the side-by-side. He'll stay right there until we're ready to go. What do you think, Dan? She gonna warm up to you? Been able to woo her yet? Doesn't look like it. So Noelle and Pepper, I don't remember what Kelly named them. Pepper, I keep mixed up with TV show for the kids. But Noelle and Pepper should be coming in to heat in the next week or two, I believe. I think they should be, what is today? I don't even know what today is. I've been in so many time zones this week. Whatever day it is. Should be the end of September that they're coming in. So that's a little behind. I want to be the end of August that we bred, but is what it is, right? Best laid plans. But they should be coming in, and hopefully they'll settle. I'm going to leave Dan. I'm going to leave Dan here for a while. In fact, I am really contemplating, after having this bit of an issue. Last time I did this, Mongo got right on the trailer, came right down. He doesn't want to have anything to do with it. Dan didn't want to have anything to do with it, so I'm not quite sure. You're obviously going to have to make an adjustment there. Now that Dan knows how to walk down here when the gates open, that may suffice. Also may allow him to, or encourage him to come down when I don't want him to be down. To be honest with you, I've really toyed with the fact of leaving Dan down here and taking maybe Noelle or Pepper up to Mongo and just having two breeding pair together all the time. Now that would change my plan of having pigs only certain times a year, piglets. But I know I would lose some in that process. So that's what I'm trying to balance in my head. So ease for the farmer versus better livestock management, but still debating that. And even debating on getting rid of the boars and just going back to AI, since we're only breeding once a year. It really kind of goes against the cost effectiveness of that, feeding two big hungry mouths the entire year when I really only need them to do their deed 1 month out of the year. So it may be one of those things too where we reevaluate and just go back to AI. But we'll see. This will probably be, regardless, it'll probably be the last breeding for Noelle and Pepper. We'll probably call them after they finally settle and have a litter, and probably keep some of their offspring, of course, to breed at that point. You can see some of the... You can kind of see some of the scrapes, hoof scrapes. That's why you're breeding large boars, obviously, is you want to try to have everybody about the same size. So your sows and boars need to be about the same. There's a lot of weight that comes down on that. Want anything to do with them? It's best not to tangle with them today, buddy. Well, Dan, you got to work on your gig, man. You got to step up your game a little bit. Pepper, you're not too keen on that dog, are you? I think Merida may actually just be coming in to eat, actually. Everybody's wanting a shot. She's actually showing some swelling here. I've been gone for a couple days, and I thought she was coming out, but she may be coming in. So we'll see. Oh, here comes Dan. Amorous pigs are a good way to lose a fender. So whilst we have some action going on here in the background, I did want to give an update. Many people have asked the update on the pigs, and really haven't featured much, simply because we were in that transition of figuring out when exactly we wanted to have litters and just kind of getting all that arranged. And the biggest thing is, we didn't have a good processor, and we finally got... It's going to get louder and louder. And we finally got a good processor. Brand new USD processor, just 45 minutes from us. So we're really excited about that. We're going to be taking cattle there this fall and give it a try. So I was really that close to getting out of the pig game just because we could not find a good processor. And now that we have a new USDA, I'm hoping that they're as solid as everyone says they are. It's kind of changed my thinking 180 degrees. We may ramp up production more if I've got a processor that's reliable and that close. then we may see more pigs on the farm than we've ever had. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. This is obviously the first thing that has to happen. Definitely a violent process. I have jokes to make, but I'm going to keep them to myself because they would not be appropriate. But again, I can't stress enough that this is always a risk, and any farmer that has large animals will tell you that when you do natural breeding, that there's always a chance for injury. So Dan gets so lathered up there that he knocked her down at one point and rolled her. So she could roll down the hill, she could hurt her leg, there's all kinds of stuff that could happen. So it is risky, more so than AI, but of course it's more natural, and I hope he's pitching well. Some of you guys may be wondering, why you letting Merida get bred? Well, she was always a good mother. She farrowed well. She didn't settle the last 2 times, but she's showing really good heat already. So she went into full stand, and she hasn't stood like that in a long time. So I'd love to see her settle. I don't know if you noticed, but she's in the best shape she's ever been. I've really cut her back on feed, and so she's lost a lot of weight. So she could possibly have one more in her. Now, Noelle, on the other hand, I can't get that pig to drop anything. She is massive, all jowls and everything, so that's kind of her confirmation. Her sister, Pepper, is a little bit lighter, but I can't get them to drop weight. Merida's been the only one that's been dropping well. All right, well, let's go. This is the exciting part of the farm. Let's go to the most boring part and the saddest guy on the entire farm. So let's go check him out. Is that you, Mongo? You all right, buddy? Just a little bit of a limp to you. You haven't been eating as much as you've been rolling in it, have you? You're a very frustrated individual right now, aren't you? And I probably smell like pig urine, so I'm gonna be ready to get away from you if I have to. Dude, you're in my personal space. So as you can see, Mongo's, don't knock my bucket over, he's flying solo because obviously Dan's down with the ladies, and it's pretty bad when you have to resort to snuggling with your food, although I can relate sometimes. But I'm curious to see how he does. I've never had one boar by themselves in their own pasture. When we bred last time, we had Napoleon, who is now in our freezer. So he's actually smelling where my boots were because I've obviously walked through Merida's urine. So he's going to be very frustrated. So I'm just curious to see just how long or how far that frustration goes. You can see he's by the feed. The boys, I was out of town the last several days, so the boys have been feeding. So they didn't know to back his ration down a little bit if they see a bunch of wasted food, because food's too expensive to waste for him to get all cozy with it. Now, I confess, I have done that before with a cheeseburger, a really good homemade cheeseburger. I have reacted similarly to that. You gonna be all right? You gonna eat? Or are you just gonna roll in it? No, the dog's not for you. That won't work. That would be an abomination. You gonna load up? Thank you. Get your foot up there. So I decided Tim and I were going to bail out and give them some privacy to do what they need to do there. So I'm going to mark today on the calendar, because what I saw was good stand from MERIDA and good good penetration, I guess would be the proper term, from Squealy Dan there. He did the job. Now, if she's just coming in to heat, which it looks like I said, I thought she was on the back side of that, but she's just coming in, then he should be able to get her stand for at least another 36 hours, hopefully. And man, it would be great if she settles. But we'll mark the calendar and we'll see how that goes. And in 21 days, we'll watch again if Squealy Dan's still doing the same thing. He's trying to settle a score, if you know what I mean. Then we'll know that she didn't settle. But man, it would be really cool if she did. Like I said, she's in the best shape that she's been in for quite a few years. But we'll keep that marked, and we'll update as well as Noel and Pepper come in. Really, dude? You just can't keep a yard free of sticks, because the dog named Timber, who's a retriever, brings every stick in the woods to the front yard. Anyway, but we'll keep you guys updated and carry on as we go. All right, take care, everybody. Really? Another stick? I don't want this stick in the yard anymore, do you understand? The stick needs to stay out of the yard. All right, it needs to be over here. Now leave it. Well, that's just great. Drop it. Hey, you better drop it. The stick belongs down there. Get a retriever, they said. There'll be tons of fun.